Hey, welcome to this yoga shred and stretch session today, where we are going to be getting the heart pumping a little bit to begin with, working on active core engagement through the body for our spinal health, and then getting into the gateway of the hips. We are going to start standing and just taking a little bit of movement from side to side, like so. Maybe the toes turned out a little bit, and we can begin just to increase our depth and our movement as we move on. Now, everything that we do today will come with a repetition of 3, just to keep it nice and short and together. I am using this session before I head on out into the garden, but you could be doing it in the morning, in the evening, as a warm-up to your workout, whatever it might be. Now, I do not like to start sessions with long holds in my body. Definitely not in the morning when the muscles are tight. I have a tight back line. But certainly at the beginning of a practice, I prefer to weave those in at the end. Even with a yin session, when we are doing slower, longer held work, I like to start up by warming the body through first. So we're just going to increase that movement a little bit now. Maybe into the shoulders. Or you might already be deep into your hips, depending on your range of motion. And we are going to come into the shred section of this, getting the heart pumping, getting some good energy flowing through the body. So we're going to come into this temple shape. I'm going to do 3 rounds, remember. So it's 20 seconds on, 10 seconds, where we're either going to be pausing or pulsing. That's your choice. So toes out, hips back a little bit. It's going to look a little something like this. So we're going to reach and then fist to the hips, sinking into that temple. So are you ready? Let's go 3, 2, 1. And certainly keep this first one steady. Just notice your form, what you're feeling and where in this 20 seconds. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're either going to hold or you might choose to pulse for 10. That's your choice. And then with the next 2 rounds, we're going to pick up maybe the speed a little bit. So off you go, second round. And with those warm-up movements, you're hopefully already starting to feel the heat a little bit in the hips here. And 3, 2, 1. And again, your choice, hold or bounce. I'm going to hold this time. You might choose to just recover that breath a little bit in between. Just work on that efficiency of your system and that regulation element. But we'll be there in a minute. Last round. Halfway, so 10 seconds left. And 3, 2, 1. Hold it there. Last 10 seconds. Maybe have a bounce. Turn the heels out. Fold it forwards. Now, I always like to heel toe my feet out a little bit wider. You might like to bend the knees. Just see what feels good. And then we're going to lift, extend long through the spine. And exhale, release. Your hands might be on fingertips or they might come to flat. I'm going to do that 2 more times. Okay, so we're going to walk round to the front of the mat now, or a side. Doesn't really matter which one. Drop the back knee down when you arrive. We're going to be going straight over to the opposite side in a moment anyway. Before we move on to kind of core engagement and more hip opening with our gate stretches, we're just going to give the hamstrings a little bit of love because we have just ignited that back line of the body. They do take a hammering. So up onto the finger pads. to create a little bit of space. And then without moving the hands back too much, we're just going to rock back and forward onto the heel to come into that kind of mobility element, that lubrication of the joint. The leg doesn't have to be straight. This time when we come back, you might choose to work with waves, or you might choose to work 3 breaths. As you can see, I've got a slight bend in the knee because I have a naturally tight back line. I never used to like these at all, but they're much nicer than they used to be. And draw it forwards, come up. So back knee comes off as we walk it back round to the front. I'm going to turn the toes out and bend the knees. Take a breath in as you bend a little bit more, and then exhale, open to rise. Reach the fingertips all the way up, and then come into that tempo, drawing the elbows wide, chest lifts, gaze lifts. Lift, heels out as you come back down. And then walk it round to the opposite side. Back knee comes down. And just as you did before, rocking it back and forwards, just feeling into that back line. And then finding something that works for you, whether it's length or depth, working with the breath, keeping that spine nice and long. And then again here, we are going to bring the palms to flat and just draw that left knee back so that we find our way into a tabletop. So from here, we're going to find our way into a gait and core engagement section. So you're going to extend the right leg away behind you and anchor the toes, and maybe just pulse back into the back line of that leg a little bit there to prepare. Now I'm going to use my exhales to tap out. So I might tap, or you might slide that left foot up towards the hip. I'll draw it back, or you might keep the foot lifted, tap down when you arrive, draw it back so you're feeling into that rotation of the hip. That's 3. And then from here, soften, draw that right knee in and round and lift and engage as you drop the chin. Inhale, extend long, lift the belly, wave the spine. Exhale, curl in and round and hug in and up. Last one. And then extend that back leg behind you. Maybe you can keep it floating this time. Okay, I'm going to combine those 2 movements. So we're going to tap out to the side, draw back, sweep in and round, hug in and up. So 2 more just like that. And last one. Okay, last moment here with this gate stretch. We're going to draw that foot round. Now it doesn't have to be as high up as mine. You could be back here or somewhere in between, but we want to be able to roll onto the sole of that foot so the whole foot is connecting. And then we might just rock back a little bit. You might choose to rock back a lot. And then prepare, draw that right leg away behind you. And you're going to take the opposite arm away in front of you this time. Sweep it in around, draw in and up. So a flying cat-cow, if you will. Getting full core engagement here. And release. And then from here, we're going to tuck the toes, plug into the fingertips, coming up into a downward facing dog. Take a moment with the breath. And then take that right leg to the sky. Anchor that left heel towards the mat and open out that right hip. Coming into that front hip flexor. And then sweep that knee all the way in and round. Step it to the front of the mat. Drop that back knee down. And then from here, you can untuck the toe. maybe walk the hands forward, inch that foot forward a little bit more so you can just drop the hip a little bit. Don't push into it, just drop it a little bit. We want the body to naturally fall into these spaces rather than forcing them in. So you might choose to just roll out a couple of times on the outer edge of that front foot to see what kind of warmth you've created there. Or using the breath, you might then choose to drop that left forearm down, and then we're here for 3 breaths. Just see if you can extend that exhale a little bit. And if you're down on the forearm, draw that hand back up. Sweep that foot back round into the tabletop, tuck the toes, back up into that downward facing dog, come through that back line. And then we're going to walk it all the way up to the top of the mat. Just shake it out here in this forward fold. Inhale, bend the knees a lot. And as you exhale, push into the feet, roll up. Shoulders, neck, head. And just roll out here. Maybe shake out the arms a little bit. And you're going to come to step it back out to the long side of this mat. Inhale, reach all the way up as we transition over to the other side with this kind of open goddess squat, as they call it, but a chest opener, elbows back, chin lifted, sinking into the hips. And then release. Turn the heels out. Fold forward, knees soft if you need or want them to be. Take one wave here. And then walk it round to the opposite side of your mat. And drop that back knee down. And find your way into your tabletop. So we're coming over to the opposite side, starting with those gate stretches and taps through to core engagement, and then we will finish up with a nice butterfly stretch. So left leg extends away behind you here, and then just tap it out 3 times. It's your choice whether or not the foot touches the ground as you bring it back or how far it comes up. Work with your mobility where you are now, preparing for that core engagement. As you lift that knee as high as you can, drop the chin. Inhale, extend and wave long. This is working on all those muscle groups closest to the spine so that we can maintain integrity with all the flexibility that's required of us on a day-to-day basis. Preparing for round 2. So tap it back, combining the movements, sweep it in and around. That's 1. Tap up into your gate, extend back, sweep it round, hug and connect. And you see I'm finding a little bit of softness in the elbows as I transition through those movements. Keep that movement nice and healthy and core active. Okay, drawing that foot round, coming onto the sole of the foot and just working on drawing the hips back. See what kind of movement you've got there. And then sweep it round and draw the opposite arm forwards. Flying cat-cows, full active engagement. Remember to drop the chin as you curl in around and lift. Extend through the spine, lift the belly, and then round, hug. Last one. And then bring the knee down. Just take a moment, tuck the toes, draw up into your downward facing dog. Now you can do this from a tabletop as well. You don't have to come up here if you don't want to. Left leg rises this time. Ground that right heel towards the mat. Open the hip and the knee, coming through into the hip flexor a little bit. And then drawing that left foot forwards. Again, could have been doing that from tabletop too. I'm just going to walk my hands forwards and inch that front foot forwards. And then Draw the hips forwards a little bit, just a little bit. Remember, we don't want to be forcing them in. I'm going to roll over onto the outer edge, just so I can explore the movement, because sometimes we want to kind of just listen to what's going on a little bit as well. And then for this last moment here, I'm going to untuck the back toe because that's a little bit more comfortable. I draw the right forearm down. And then just work with the breath here to extend the exhale a little bit. If you're down on the forearm, bring it back up. Take a breath here. And draw that foot all the way back into your tabletop. Cross the ankles, come back, roll over onto the bottom or however you want to get there. We're going to finish off with a butterfly stretch. So we're going to draw the soles of the feet together, and you can just see whether or not you want them further away from you or you're drawing them a little bit closer to you. And you might bounce the knees, you might rock from side to side. You might even choose to sit up on a cushion or something just to give yourself a little bit more space in this one. Take a breath and then walk the hands forward a little bit, something that feels comfortable for you and that you feel that you can hold for a few breaths here. We're going to do 3 times 2 this time, just to give ourselves an opportunity to release. But it's not about how far the knees come down. You might choose to be supporting the knees with blocks either side if you were staying here for longer. You might choose to just let go of the spine and drop the head. And then using the hands to support you back up, draw the knees together. Maybe you might choose to bring the hands behind you and windshield wiper just to release out of that shape. And then come back into your easy seat. So that was your yoga shred and stretch challenge today for the hips, with that core engagement and just working that entire back line, especially the low body as well. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you again next time.